Hello everybody, Flik here. It's time for yet another Let's Look At, and today we are taking a look at This War of Mine. This is a game by 11-Bit Studio, the people who brought you the Anomaly Warzone Earth games. I'm moderately familiar with the second one, or the first one, I can't remember now. Either way, This War of Mine is a survival simulator set in a kind of unnamed, I would say Eastern European maybe by the vibe, city caught up in a civil war between militia, rebels, the military and so on, and rather than actually taking part in the fight, you're just playing as a hodgepodge bunch of survivors who are just trying to live and see through to the end of the war. It's very grey, and I think the point of the game, in my opinion, is to see how far you're willing to go to survive. Prior to recording this, I played one full game of This War of Mine. I'm actually very proud of myself. I got to the end of the war. It ended on roughly day 42. It was the end of day 42, I believe it ended. And that took me 7 hours. There is replayability though, to a certain extent, and we'll get into that. But I'm just covering that first because I'm going to do a brand new game here. And we'll go to another try and I'll show you what it's about. The game is essentially broken into, you'll lose current progress. Well, my game's over anyway, so that's fine. The game's broken into two sections, a day section and a night section. And I'm explaining this before I get started because you're on the clock, so I don't want to, waste some of my time. But anyway, when you start a game, you will see your safe house. It's not exactly safe when you start, it's covered in broken windows, etc. You need to clear it out. And we'll also have three, I believe it's always three, of the cast of the game randomly given to us. And they have different perks, different problems, different addictions, for example smoking, etc. So let's see who we get. And our first goal for this very first day will be to clear out as much of our base as we can. See what stock we have, see what we need. Food, medical supplies, etc. So who have we got? I know this guy down here, he's a good cook. This guy I recognise, but I can't remember his name. Not Sergey. Right, who have we got? Here we go. This is actually very similar to the start I got last time. So how long has this siege lasted? It's hard to say when every day is a struggle for survival. The city is crawling with snipers, shelling is ordinary business almost every night. Phones don't work, there is a shortage of food and meds, and many people are left homeless. Bruno and Marco have always been good friends. Bruno is that guy there, Marco is him. So when the war broke out, they decided to stick together. They met Pavel, or maybe that's Pavel, I can't remember, I get them confused, while scavenging for supplies. He used to be Pogorin, that's the name of the place. Pogorin's star football player. Now he's just another homeless victim of war, so they teamed up hoping for the best. And so begins the game. So I am going to be doing a lot while I'm talking because I need to get stuff done. The day section ends at 8 PM, although if you run out of stuff to do you can just very quickly say please end the day. So yeah, we're going to find a lot of stuff, and by the way there's a lot of similarities in some of these interfaces and like character portraits, etc. between This War of Mine and a game I played a mini-series on for Halloween called Safehouse Diaries. I don't know if it's built on the same base level code or whatever, but I noticed a lot of similarities. However, I think the execution here is better because Safehouse Diaries, as much as I liked it, it was very much a reading simulator. You were just reading each diary page and occasionally moving people around. This War of Mine is a lot more involved, especially the night phase. But anyway, we won't bother looking into what every little bit of this does, but needless to say, wood and miscellaneous materials are obviously used to build stuff. Food, I'm sure I don't need to explain. Let's see what's in here. Herbs we can do stuff with, and that's some electrical parts. Clean water is actually a valuable commodity early on, in my opinion. Let's clear that out. So the hands basically, well, apart from this hand, because that just means sit down and take a rest, mean clear this stuff. Right, so what can we make straight from the off? I want to make a metalwork, so I can build a shovel. And I'm going to lay this place out the exact same way I laid it out in my first game because I found it to be, it worked. I know it worked, so I'm going to do it again. And that door's barred, so we'll need to break that open as well. Ah, we found some food. Excellent. You can just have your people eat canned food and raw food, however they benefit more if you actually cook it, which requires tinder and clean water. So let's get you down there to clear that out as well. You can double click to make people run. During this stage it doesn't really matter. During the day phase as well you can get visited by people. Usually every 2 or 3 days you get visited by a merchant who you can trade with. Or you might get some kind of a randomly triggered event like helping a neighbour out, or let's see what else. Some kids came to my door once wanting food. Someone's brother got sniped and they wanted help. Unfortunately I had to turn them away. And I don't think the main crux of This War of Mine is technically the survival, in my opinion. As I said at the start, it throws some bad stuff at you. And apologies for my phone going off. Let me just put that on silent because this is a mature game and I don't want distracted by an iPhone going off. Wow, found a lockpick for free. Fantastic. That's a lot of material as well. So yeah, as I was saying, the game makes you have to do a lot of stuff, or it doesn't force your hand per se, but to give an example, this is actually I think this is probably a prolific example of some of the things you have to deal with in this game. You can visit a location, and we'll get into that once it gets to night, and you can sometimes get a randomly spawned event. I think there's maybe like a choice of 2 or 3 that could happen when you visit the place each new game you make. So there's one place you can go to. Hi, where are you going? I'm not done with you yet. Clean that up with your shovel. There's one place you can go to and you find a soldier who is, let's say, overstepping his boundaries when a female survivor comes looking for food. And assuming you want to, or you can help her. Or because, let's say, you're worried about you dying, or you didn't bring a weapon with you when you went scavenging, which is what the night phase is, and we'll get into that. You might just have to let what happens happen. And that'll make you feel like crap. And that's kind of the point, I think. Also, if you hear me frequently clicking, I did make a shovel, right? Why aren't they cleaning this out? You can use your hands to clean these out. Ah, yeah, but using the shovel makes it go much, much faster. I need another lockpick. I need 2 lockpicks, in fact. I think I have the materials. The first day seems to go slower than usual. Right, we'll make 2 lockpicks. That'll take an hour. That's fine. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm kind of proud that other than kind of one mishap in my first game I played, I stuck to my ethics. I stole from rich people. I'm not entirely proud of that. However, I think they can cope. I didn't steal from people who I would class as good. Anyway, and I know that's debatable. And I think what's very clever about this war of mine, and we will get into this more towards the end, but say, I don't want to say that, bandages are great, and books are good as well, it keeps people's morale up. That actually links into what I was talking about. Not to say that if you're playing this and you don't give a rat's ass, you're a bad person. Maybe you're just the kind of person who can distance yourself so that it doesn't really matter what you see happen in the game because it's just a game. The game actually compensates for that because you could, if you didn't give a rat's ass, go anywhere, steal, kill, whatever you want. So the game gets around that in a rather clever way, I think, by making your characters care, even if you don't. So if you do stuff that a normal person, if this was really happening, would feel pretty shitty about, your characters get depressed. What does depression mean? Depression means they can reach a broken state where they just give in. You can't do anything with them. You can try and bring them back from the brink, or you can leave them to it. They might kill themselves. They might abandon you, and some nasty stuff happens. As I said, it's definitely not a happy game, but it is a survival sim. So if you are into your survival simulators, I would suggest that this is probably one of the better ones I've played in quite some time. Now, the reason I came back here is because I want to build a bed. I only have enough to build 1, unfortunately, unless I find some more supplies. Beds let people have a better night's sleep, so their mental health kind of stays up. I need 1 more lockpick down there too. So that is a bit of jewellery. That's great for bartering. Fine. How are we doing anyway? So we found a tiny bit of medical supplies. We found a tiny bit of food. On this first night, I think every game almost starts the same, in the sense of you're probably going to visit one of the safe places, where you can just get a load of building supplies and that's it. Oh, we need 2 more lockpicks. Hey, hang on. Marco, come over here and make 2 more lockpicks if I can. I can't, so I need to make sure on my first night of scavenging I get some components. Fair enough. You can get down there then. So we've got a few more hours now until this day ends. So I need 1 lockpick, I need 2 lockpicks, and then I'll be able to have everything in the shower. Good. And then we can go to the scavenging phase, as I said. So Pavel's skill is he's a fast runner. That just means when you tell him to run, he will move faster than regular people. Bruno's a good cook. Oh, I didn't realise he was slightly sick. You should probably rest then. That helps get people over their illness. Oh, and I didn't realise Marco was slightly wounded. And you're a skilled scavenger. That means he has more inventory spaces for when he's collecting stuff. Let's see if we can quickly get him to use that bandage, because I need to send Marco out because he has the most inventory space. So you do have to monitor your warmth as well. People will get sick if it gets too cold, especially if snow happens. I don't know if there's a set period where the snowfall will happen or if it's random, but oh god, it was murder to deal with when it happened in my first game, I'll tell you. By the way, as proud as I am of finishing the game on my first attempt, of the people I started with, only 1 survived. I did have a full complement of 4. I think you can have 4 at most. But anyway, so when night falls, you are given a choice of areas to go to, and this will open up to a whole host of them by the end of the game, and you can revisit, and things may change depending on how long ago you visited. Also, as the war escalates, some areas become inaccessible for periods of time. So if you had, say you knew about a stockpile of food but you couldn't bring everything, and you thought, it's fine, I'll just go back a few days later, you might not be able to. So anyway, yes, we have to decide what we're going to do. You can, if you want, just have everybody sleep or guard, or you don't have to scavenge if you don't want to, and I actually found it beneficial not to scavenge every night sometimes. Even though you're wounded, Marco, you're definitely scavenging first, though. Bruno is ill, so he will sleep in our bed, and I will have... Well, on the first night, I don't think it's possible to get raided. I wouldn't think it would be, because it's kind of going easy on you when you start, so there's only the one bed, though, so if Pavel is going to sleep, it's just going to be on the floor. He might as well. He'll sleep. So our shelter is down here in the corner, and we have access to a quiet house, ruined villa, and abandoned cottage. And we get a rough estimate of what's there, and also if there's anyone there. So this is the safest place, I think. Ruined villa. They must have some supplies stocked. Oh, there's people alive there. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. If we're desperate, we could steal from them. So that would have an effect on the mental health of our people if we did that. Quiet house. Oh, that's the place I regret. In my other game, I'm pretty sure that's the house I went to, and it's inhabited by an old couple, and they don't fight back. So you can just loot everything they have if you want. You'll feel bad afterwards, or maybe, it's a game. If you don't care, your characters will care that you did it, put it that way. I think abandoned cottage might be the best bet. A family barricaded themselves in this house, but despite their efforts, looters got inside. It's been abandoned ever since, still it might be useful. I'm trying to remember if I ever had access to abandoned cottage, or if I'm confusing it with another area. Anyway, it's got lots of food, lots of material, so let's go there with Marco. Hopefully it'll be abandoned, and you can choose to bring stuff with you. I'm tempted to bring the shovel and the lockpick. The shovel is classed as a weapon as well, so let's bring that. We don't have any other weapons at home, but again, I think there's a literal 0% chance of being raided on your first night, so we'll see. We'll use equipment during the attack. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, this is what we do during the night. We get out there and we try our hardest. I just got an achievement called We've Been Everywhere, so yeah, I don't think I've ever been here. I must change what areas you have. So there should still be a lot of stuff here. Sniper up there, apparently. I had a really tense encounter with a couple of snipers on my first game. So we'll take all of those, although I will get rid of the gunpowder if I need the space, because that is not that useful. I didn't involve myself in any kind of gunplay in my first full game. I did say, I think I mentioned I did kill someone. Well, no, I didn't mention that, did I? I don't want to bring it up, it's full of bad memories for me, but I did kill people, however I used melee weapons. The gun I did eventually get, I used to defend my home from raiders. So rather than just kind of sneak around or barge your way in, you can just kind of creepily look through letterboxes and whatnot. This door is barricaded, I won't be able to open it, will I? Nope, have to go around. Fair enough. Also, if you see red pulses, that means there's sound. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a person, though. It could be a rat, could be a window, but you've got to pay attention. You can also overhear conversations, so you can try and gauge whether whoever's here with you is violent or willing to trade, if they have belongings that they consider theirs. If it says private property, if I search any of these things, that means the game considers it owned by someone else. So if you take anything, you are stealing. So we want lots of this. In fact, I'm going to dump the gunpowder back in here. I don't need it. The parts I kind of need. So we'll take this. I still want some inventory spaces, so we'll leave that as is. I can come back here again the next night. It won't necessarily be in the same condition as when I found it. Oh. Right, that's not actually moving, so I think that's a rat. We'll take the parts. And we'll take that. 3 inventory spaces left. Yep, we'll have another little look around. This is definitely worth coming back to on your second night, in my opinion. Yeah, that must be a rat, it's not moving. What have we got here? Weapon parts are pretty damn rare, so I'll take those. Fertilizer, I never got around to experimenting with growing your own food. You can also kind of go a route of trying to capture your own animals to survive. Oh yeah, cigarettes as well. I hate wasting space on cigarettes. I think early on coffee is worth a lot, but eventually it becomes worthless. That's only 1 coffee bean though. I'm not sure. I'll leave all that for now until I find out what else is in here. What was I saying? I can't remember now. Oh yeah, the routes you can go. The best route I found is... It was a rat. The best route I found was to go the moonshine route, because soldiers, militia and merchants all want alcohol. So, and I mean, they'll give you a lot for it. We'll take that for sure because it just stacks on that already. Leave everything else. We'll undo this door so I can get in easier next time I come here. Not necessarily with Marco. He might need to rest if his wound gets worse. I love the ambient music in the game as well, by the way. I haven't really kind of specifically gone into my thoughts about the War of Mine. A family photo of parents and 2 daughters. Good thing the girls don't resemble their father. He looks like a bear. Okay, if there's food in here, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, as I was saying. So how do I feel about this War of Mine? And this is a mother load of food, and I need to make sure I have enough room for it all. Let's put back some wood. Store some wood in the fridge. I'm going to come back here on the next night for absolute sure, so it doesn't necessarily matter too much what I leave. Yeah, I really enjoyed my first game. It was tense at times, I was desperate at times, and I love that it does put you in these uncomfortable situations. And they are uncomfortable. I think if you can play this without getting invested, if you can stay distant, you will miss out on a lot. It is a game that you have to get invested in, and I think it does a good job of it. But, you know, if you are just the kind of person who doesn't care what you do in the game, if you play as the villain in games with arbitrary moral choices and you find it funny, this probably isn't for you, I would say. A note that says, on the first day they robbed us, 2 days later they murdered our girls. I shot every one of them, but I don't want to use the gun anymore. It's broken and buried in the backyard. The next part looks shaky. If you're reading this, don't look for me. Yeah, I've never been here, for sure, because I would have remembered that. So it sounds like if I can get into the back garden then, I can find a broken gun. It takes a lot to repair a gun, but to know it's there early on. Well, let's get rid of our lockpick by opening this door. I probably should have looked in first, but we know there's no corpses. I'm not sure I'm comfortable raiding what appears to be a girl's bedroom, but such is. So there's more coffee here, more roll-ups. There is another broken gun. I can stack that, right? Yeah, I can. I can stack this as well. I don't want to fill my last space with a book. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to come back here again. This is such a good haul. And I feel shitty to say that about a house that had a family with 2 daughters and they all got murdered. Medicine as well. But you know, it wasn't me that pulled the trigger. Might as well make something out of what was left behind. So we can take that because it will stack. Do I have a stack of this? No, I'm full on that. I want to go see if I can find this gun. So hang on, is there a way out the back door then? Is there even a back door? Doesn't seem like it. I'm going to want to think about leaving soon as well. Did I check this already? Ah, maybe you need a gun to get it. Maybe the gun is in there and I need to... No, wait, he said it was in the backyard. So I definitely need to come back with 1 lockpick. Got it. And also a lot of inventory space because there's a lot of good stuff here. Ah, this wasn't here before. So will this have a broken gun then? It does. It actually has a broken pistol, and I can stack 1 more of them, I think. Just 1 more. Take the broken pistol. Even if I don't use it, it should have good trade value. So yeah, I think you can go until 5 AM, and it'll start getting antsy about how long you're taking at about 4 AM. Let's just run to the exit. It's right there. We'll go back, and we can see what happened in the night. Most likely nothing, because it was the first night. But yeah, I really like this War of Mine. I think it's a very mature game, and that's a good thing. And you have to be invested in it to get full enjoyment. The price is a little high, I would say. It's £14.99. And the replayability... I mean, you start with a random group of people, however, I assume there is a max to the cast. Maybe it's like, say, 10 possible people who can join you. I don't know if that's true. It's a rough estimate based on how many people I saw in my first game. And there is a limited number of areas for the game you spawn. Now, there is random events, some which you may see, some which you might not. What you find in a location is varied as well. However, the overall goal, if you find a formula that works, I think it will work every single time. So you could get some replayability out of this, but I'm not sure you would get tons. Now, does that matter when 1 full game, assuming you survive, takes 7 hours? I'd say that's pretty good value. So anyway, you're going to be knackered and you're hungry. So let's have you eat... Oh, we don't have a stove. That's what I forgot to make. Oh, you slept poorly. Oh, because you didn't have a bed, that's why. And this is the wrong one. But we do need 1 lockpick, so make the lockpick. Where is Bruno? Alright, you're still sleeping off being ill. Everybody's hungry. Let's make a stove so we can actually cook some proper meals. You can just eat the raw food, as I said, but it won't be as satisfying. And we want Bruno to be the cook. So we want a stove, right? Crude stove, make it. Put it next to the kitchen, because that's where it's going to be used. And then we'll have Marco sleep, because he's going to be patrolling again tonight. What else can we do? We can make another chair. We need to make some fuel, of course. You can burn books, but then obviously you can't do anything else with them. Let's just burn a few bits of firewood. And we will get Bruno to cook because he's a good cook. I think he uses less resources, I'm not sure. Or maybe he does it quicker, or maybe they just fill up more hunger. We might also get visited by someone today. And I totally forgot we still needed 2 lockpicks here. So how many lockpicks did I make? I made only 1 there, didn't I? I need 2 more. I don't know if I can do that. I can only make 1. So hang on. What does that give me in total once this is made? That would be a second one. So I can only finish clearing out my house today. Right, Pavel. Oh wait, no, you're not the cook. Pavel, you go down here. Bruno, you're cooking. Pavel, you're sleeping because you're going back to that house again tonight. And Pavel... I said Pavel twice there, didn't I? I always get Pavel and Marco mixed up. You've got some digging to do. And then also some lock picking. You don't need to worry about heat in the place just yet. But eventually you do. Also need to start worrying about clean water as well. You can build... what are they called? I was going to say water filters, but no, that's what you put in them to filter the water that you're collecting. I guess just water collector then. So yeah, it's going to cook 2 cooked meals. You need vegetables to do this. A lot of water. And some fuel. Good job, my man. Good job we had that shovel. Alright, let's see what's in here. Finish clearing out our own home. Hopefully some more parts so I can make another lockpick. Let's see. Medicine. And books. That's great. We'll just take all of that. Thank you very much. Right, and 1 last lockpick to use up there. That means we can't take a lockpick back to that place I was visiting, but that's alright. So you're slightly sick still. Let's have you take some proper medicine that we just found in our own house. That should help a lot. We'll have him eat, and then I probably don't have enough wood to build a second bed, unfortunately. Probably start feeling better soon. Good to know, good to know. You don't really need to feed your people every single day they're hungry, I would say. You can safely wait until they're very hungry, but, you know, I want to feel good about what's happening here. That'll do for now. You're slightly sick. Let's see if you can build another bed. Aha, what do we have in here? Clean water and more books. It's not a great haul, to be honest. That was not worth the lockpick I expended, in my opinion. But I think for the duration of this video, we'll show off one more night, one more scavenge. I might go somewhere else just to show you maybe I'll run in with some people if I get the option. So we can't make another bed. We need some more, yeah, we need more wood and more parts, or components, to be expected. So that is the house cleared out now. Yep. And we've got 1 more meal to eat. I would rather give that to Marco once he wakes up. Can I make a knife? Do I have enough to do that? Nope, I need more parts. And there's no merchant visiting today, I don't think. Another important thing to build early on is a radio. It lets you keep up to date on the weather, also what commodities are worth more, and the state of the war. And kind of in the later stages of the game, you start hearing about peace talkers trying to arrange a negotiation between the militia and the army. And that way you know that you're almost there. Although I think maybe the game, or the end state is variable, I'm not sure. Right, so Marco, you're hungry. And you're our scavenger, so you're getting to eat the other meal we have. And Bruno can sleep in bed because that will help his recovery. I was hoping to see if someone would arrive as well, so we might play a little bit into the next actual day section as well. I could end this section right here, in fact, after he eats, and just go straight on to the night again. Yeah, your stomach's not going to rumble much longer, Marco. Calm down. There we go. Yeah, let's end this day. We'll go into the scavenge. We're going to go back to the same place with Marco. Marco is scavenging. Let's have Pavel guard this time and have Bruno sleep in the bed to try and get rid of this damn sickness that's bugging him. So yeah, we do have access to some more places. We have the supermarket and we have this shelled school. So the supermarket has potential danger. Other scavengers there, probably best not to get in their way. Some doors might be locked. A crowbar could come in handy. Don't have a crowbar yet. It's good that it tells you that. And some homeless people have taken over a shelled school. That is actually different as well, I think, because I could have sworn on my first game the school was manned by militia. But we're going back to the abandoned cottage because I left too much stuff there that I want. And we don't need to bring anything with us. Well, we technically needed a lockpick, but we don't have that. So we're just going to scavenge without. Hopefully no one's kind of encroached on here since the last time we were here. Where did I leave here again? It was a broken weapon part, right? It's got value, so I'll take it. Let's get over here. It should be safe enough. Now, the good stuff was on the upper floor. What did I leave here? We need more wood. We need more components for sure. To build some more stuff. So we need all that. So we'll take it. Did I leave any food here? I left... Oh. That was going upstairs. That's a person. Let's quickly take 10 water. That's just one slot. Let's take 10 sugar for making a distillery later to make moonshine. Herbs, no. So, yeah, that seemed to be a person. I'm fairly certain that's not a rat. Let's sneak through here a little bit. Or maybe it is a rat? Oh, no, I think it is a rat. It's fine. I never saw a rat go up the stairs before. So we want more of this. And more of this. I examined that before, right? Oh, that's the thing I need a lockpick for. Yeah, get up there. It's just a rat. It's fine. Worrying me. Yeah, off you go. There he goes. That's one more bit of wood. Let's take 2 more bits of wood. Let's take 2 of them. 4 more components, and that leaves me 1 space. Whoops. 1 space for the other bandage, I think it was, that I found somewhere in here. I could still come back on yet another night and get a lot here. But anyway, that'll do for this haul. I'll go back, see if we get some kind of event triggered. Either, say, a merchant or maybe like a moral decision will appear in the base. We might get raided as well. That's what I wanted, medicine. Yeah, we could definitely come back here a 3rd night in the row. Run to exit. We're done here, Marco. So I will reiterate that this War of Mine is definitely a good game to play if you're looking for a mature survival simulator. And you don't find it uncomfortable. Some of the mature themes in it. Price is a little bit high in my opinion. Only a little bit though. Definitely enjoyed the game, and there will be a link to the Steam store page in the description box below. Right, let's see, everybody's still alive. We might have got raided though. We'll find out when it triggers. We did. We've been raided. Someone came in the night to take our things and we didn't have any weapons. Bruno got wounded. Luckily we didn't actually get anything. Someone tried to rob us. They didn't seem very determined, so we managed to fend them off. We had some weapons, but not enough for everyone. Bruno was wounded. So there goes our new medicine that we just got. So Marco, you're going straight to bed. Marco... Oh, we don't have any bandages. You're just going to have to grin and bear it. That's not good. Now, can we cook any meals with just the food? We can, can't we? Yes, but we need fuel. Rather than... I'll burn 2 books because we don't need 4 books. No, never read the final chapter of Pride and Prejudice. It's not worth it. And we'll wait a little bit here just to see if we get some kind of event. It'll either be a merchant or, as I say, some random thing which might take one of our people away for a day. It might have a good outcome, a bad outcome, etc. So we can only make 1 meal. Let's not do that. Everyone's hungry, but they're not like super hungry. Let's get down here and make another bed. We need more than 1. I'll be curious if we get an event I haven't seen before as well. So we could also make a radio and a stove to keep it warm and a water filter. There's so many things you need to kind of do. You need to prioritise, but a second bed I think is a good idea. We'll put it down here next to the other one. Hope we managed to keep it warm in here. Yeah, we'll need to worry about that later. 18 degrees is not cold. And don't tell me it's cold. When it gets down to like 5 degrees when it snows, then we can start worrying. We're lucky it's not cold in here. See, Bruno knows. He knows it's good. Although speaking of, I need 1 lockpick to take back to that house again. Move your ass, Bruno. I could build a knife as well, though. A knife is handy. It's got its uses. I think we could actually build both, can't we? 1 out of 7. Yeah, we totally can. We'll make both. A knife is good for defending yourself later on, early on. Later on, you've got to worry about plugging up these holes by upgrading your workstation, and you've got to find a gun. And you will expend bullets every time you fend off a raid. It's just a scratch. Good. Yeah, he knows. So, Pavo is tired. You can rest. Bruno is not tired. He is wounded, so sleeping would help him potentially get over his wound. That's okay. Where are my cigarettes? Oh, that's right, you're a smoker, aren't you? Yes, you are. You had a TV show called Bruno's Cuisine. That is a terrible name for a TV show. Ah, we are getting visited by the merchant. So I'll show you what the trading is like, and then that's probably where we'll end off. But yeah, this War of Mine gets a recommendation from me. Assuming it's your thing. If you're not into survival sims, probably not. So let's see what we have. So he's got a lot of food, a lot of cigarettes, and you can see the value of something by kind of pressing on it. So if we wanted a bandage, which we kind of do to help Bruno, we'd have to give him way too much. But if we wanted something simple, like say just some basic building materials, say 1, 2, you can have it for almost nothing. So let's have 4 of them. Let's have, it's quite common, but not, wood will be easier, right? You can have it for almost nothing. Let's have a bunch of wood. Oh, no, I didn't mean to take the alcohol, that's way too expensive. Right, so what can I give him for that? I don't need herbs because I don't have a garden yet, so I can give him some of them. We want to get him to, fine, I'll do a trade. I'm not sure what we'll have to give him. What would you give me for that? Interesting, I want to... Well, I could get some lockpicks off of you if I do this. Let's try this. We'll put the gem in there. It's very generous of you. That means I'm offering him too much. Let's take a lockpick, and then it becomes it won't do, try harder. What if I gave you a weapon part? They're kind of rare though. What if I give you some sugar? Oh yeah, there we go. Fine, we can have a deal. Deal. So he can stay there, or I can just dismiss him. I'm going to dismiss him. Gotta get back to my folks. Safe travels, friend. You can also get characters who have the perk Skilled Negotiator, so you can get better deals with merchants. He's not the only merchant, you can visit locations with merchants. And you could, if you wanted, go in guns blazing and take everything for yourself. It's up to you. That's essentially what this war of mine is. It's how you choose to survive. Do you stick to your ethics and potentially die? Or do you go the Walking Dead route and kind of cast away your ethics and do anything to survive and protect your people over everyone else? It's up to you. Anyway, this has been a Let's Look At of this war of mine. As I said, there is a link to the Steam store page in the description box below. My name has been Flik. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now.